silence your cell phones for the duration of this meeting. And this will be the first opportunity for public comment that we have. All comments and questions will be addressed to the president. The board and staff members will not normally respond to comments or questions during the meeting unless recognized by the president for that purpose. Comments will be limited at the discretion of the president to 5 minutes or less. If you have any comments, please come up, state your name and your address. Come on, I know you guys are ready.
Before we get started, we wanted to thank you for your time. I'm Charlie Sanders, and I'm currently a 7th grader at YSMS.
I'm Cecilia Sigley, and I'm also a 7th grader at YSMS.
Today we wanted to speak with you about adding a girls' soccer team to YSMS. We play for the Children's Soccer Club and have been with this organization for 4 years. We feel that this club is a great feeder program for the proposed middle school team.
There is great interest for our middle school team throughout the club. We are aware that there is a middle school league within the county. We have a list if you are interested.
We acknowledge that there are costs associated with the school sports, such as salary of a coach, transportation, referee fees, and uniforms. One way we could think to help keep these costs down is to purchase t-shirts with numbers opposed to jerseys.
Another way to keep costs down would be to require the athletes to provide their own shorts and socks for the games. Other teams within the league require this from their athletes.
In soccer, there is very little equipment that is used for practices and games. To help offset some of these costs, we could use the high school soccer teams, high school soccer teams' balls, since they play in the fall while middle school is played in the spring. We could use the nets and corner flags from the high school teams as well.
We appreciate and thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. Where does the Trojan Soccer League stop right now in terms of grade level? Would you guys be competing with the Trojan Soccer League? Yeah. Here comes.
Hello, I'm Brian Sigley. I'm Cecilia's dad, Charlie's coach. I've been with Trojan for about 4 years now. Currently, we go up to, on the boys' side, I think they do have some U15, 16. I think a lot of it is the high school boys will play for the high school in the fall, and then in the spring, they'll go out and play for Trojan just to keep their skills up during the off-season. On the girls' side, it's a little different. The girls are smaller. Right now, our team is blended of 5th graders, 6th graders, and 7th graders. Our issue right now is that we have more 6th graders and 7th graders, but we're having to pull everybody up to a higher level. And it's very hard for 5th graders to play on the same field with a team that's all 7th graders. So right now what the girls are looking at is they'd like to have a team for the middle school. 7th and 8th graders, there's a lot of girls still coming up to that level. And what they'd like to do is play our club in the fall, since middle school is traditionally played in the spring, and then they would play for the school in the spring, but still in the fall keep their skills up. But right now, pretty much girls soccer fizzles out at about 7th grade. A lot of the other teams and the clubs in the county end up having to merge teams, and then you may have a couple of girls from Suburban playing with 5 girls from Central, playing with 4 girls from Dallastown. They don't go to school together, so there's not a lot of camaraderie for the girls when they're playing, and it's a little tough to keep them in the sport, to be honest, because they're not playing with their classmates.
You think you have the head count to support this?
Yes, we have the head count to support it. Right now we've got 5 7th graders that would be going up to 8th grade. We have 6 or 7 6th graders. This is just in Trojan. I do know there's other girls that there may be 2 or 3 that play in other clubs, and there's 3 other leagues within the York County, Adams County, Lancaster County area. A lot of the girls go and travel. So the issue, I look at it from the standpoint, I know what it's like to blend a team. So when they get to the high school, you've got girls that have played Trojan soccer, ASA, PSA. They've never played together. They've seen each other at school. I think it could just be I think it would be great for the high school. And I do know we have Jason Plotkin got a text from Coach Schultz from the high school. He couldn't be here tonight, but he did ask if Mr. Plotkin could read on his behalf.
You're good. Bring it here.
Thanks for letting me read this. Okay, I asked him if he could come. He said that's good news. He's been advocating for this for years. Unfortunately, he's out of town. The lack of a junior high team has put us behind competitively over the years. I've seen teams rise after starting a middle school team. That includes Dover, West York, Northeastern, and Kennerdale. Beyond our schools, it is tough in our district when there is a middle school teams for volleyball, field hockey, and cross country, and I have trouble understanding why soccer is left out. He believes it is unfair to the high school players to put them at a competitive disadvantage. And if I could just say as a parent, my oldest daughter, who played 4 years for Suburban High School, she played in FC York and travel leagues, and I can't speak for other parents because I'm just me, but we paid money for these travel leagues, for FC and for Red Lion, and we don't make a lot of money, but it's an investment in something my daughter loves. And if it's a matter of parents investing and maybe paying for some things, if I have to pay like a fee, I'm not going to speak for my wife either because she might yell at me, but I'd be willing to do that. And so I just appreciate you listening and considering this. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason Plotkin. I live at 1533 First Avenue. Thank you.
That's something that, very tough to handle.
I know you'll need discussion, so I know, Mr. Pose, now you have my email address. I did sign in tonight. If anybody has further questions, inquiries, the girls have done a lot of research with the help of Mr. Payne at the middle school, so they would be more than willing to share any information that you'd like on fees that they've been able to find, different ideas they have, ways that they could help raise some funds to get this started, and then numbers for interest level. Feel free to run that through me. They can email you from their school accounts if you're okay with that, but they're willing to do the legwork to get this going, and I know the boys program, I'm sure, would like it, but at this point, since we're the girls' coaches and teams, we came and decided to bite the bullet and stand in front of you tonight, and again, we greatly appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other public comment? Please come up.
Hi, my name is Chris. I live on Randall, and I have a third grader, a boy, who plays soccer. And one of my things that he just talked about was the fact that I'm paying $125, $135 for him to play soccer, where I'd like to give it back to Suburban for him to play soccer. Now, he's a little young yet, but by the time he gets to the middle school, I hope there's a program.
Thank you. Other comments? Thank you very much. If I could have our retirees please stand up, come forward.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your service. What it is without you. So, thank you very much. Right, we have some items to be recommended for approval for the May 20th meeting. The first will be a recommendation for Ms. Corinne Mason to be appointed board secretary for a 2-year term beginning June 1st, 2019, as part of her responsibilities as the director of finance and operations. And that will carry through to retirement, and we will figure out what we're going to do then. The second one is a recommendation for Mr. Sears to be appointed to treasurer for a 1-year term beginning July 1st, 2019, at no compensation, Mr. Sears.
Great that you emphasize that.
Just to be clear. And we will be doing away with this one? The third one? Okay. So we will have a conversation about the appointment of voting delegates for the Pennsylvania School Board Association Delegate Assembly on Friday, October 18th. And with that, I will turn it over to you, Dr.
Question.
Yes.
At this point, I'd like to say that I'm interested in being a voting delegate.
Okay.
The board will have to choose 2, or can choose up to 2.
That will be the next meeting.
At the next meeting, right? Okay, the administration recommends board approval of pilot program at the middle school to modify the curriculum to help meet the social and emotional needs of the middle school students, and that's in grades 6, 7, and 8.
So moved. Oh, we're not voting. We're voting.
Yes.
We are voting on that,
Okay,
yes.
so moved.
So any questions, comments, or discussion? Yes.
Just a couple. It looks to me, and maybe you can comment on this, Dr. Williams, that it's a trade of academic programs, so there's no net cost to the district. Is that a correct statement?
That is a correct statement. There's no additional teaching staff needed for this, no additional, we may need some additional resources, but nothing as de minimis, the resources.
All right. It's characterized as a 3-year pilot, and I'm wondering, are there any other districts like ours, near us, in our same demographic that have done similar programs, and could you comment on the results that they've achieved?
Well, it's not a 3-year pilot, it's a 1-year pilot for all 3 grades.
Okay, I misread it.
Yeah.
Again, is there precedent somewhere else in the state that we can look at?
I don't know about locally. You probably didn't find anything in the state either. It's a relatively different approach to social emotional issues middle school kids face. So we didn't have any program to pattern this, any model to pattern this off of.
Okay. One or the other, I guess, is a question of structure. That do we see this as more or less a lecture type course or interactive course? And if so, if it's more or less interactive, does that potentially expose confidentiality in the classroom? Is there a risk that kids can say things spontaneously that they might not really say if they give some additional thought?
In middle school, you always face that.
But my concern is not to be, I'm not trying to be flip here. This is serious stuff when you get into confidential issues, potential HIPAA issues and those sorts of things, and then potential bullying that could come, or some sort of feedback that takes place that we didn't count on because kids said things that expose themselves.
This is about coping strategies for children to learn and to experience so that they know how to handle situations that are might be challenging for them. This is not a group session.
Yeah, tell me it's not therapy.
It's not, okay. No, because I wasn't quite sure where you're going with that. Now I get it. Yeah, it's not a therapy session. It's about giving kids skills and strategies to use to deal with difficult situations. And it should. The intent is not to increase bullying, but to diminish it.
Okay. I guess that, I'll just ask one more if I might, and that's the single year of evaluation. So you'll look across all 3 grades to do the evaluation, and we should have something as a board within, let's say, at the end of one academic year to decide whether this should be continued, or just say what the success rate was.
Yeah, because it's not a year-long course. So I think it's 20 days. It's a 20-day course. Replaces a different course we had in place, a STEM course we had in place. So there are different chunks of 20 days. So
Yeah, these are not 20 consecutive days in the cycle, though, correct?
They're
spread out across.
They're spread out over
Well,
6 weeks.
yeah, each student would have a 20-day sequential unit that's block period. Then the next group of students would rotate in.
Right.
So yes.
So to get through to expose the entire middle school to this.
Takes a full year to do it.
Full year.
Correct.
Get a comprehensive report at the end of that period.
Correct.
All right.
Or even before the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll be providing updates to the Academic Standards Committee of progress as it unfolds, too. Yep.
Because you're going to have, the students will take it during that 20-period time frame. Then another group takes it during the
Got it.
So we'll be able to have several run-throughs to evaluate the effectiveness of the program.
Thank you.
You welcome.
If I may ask a question, do I understand that there is some discussion of social and emotional needs already, say to the health education component? Will that then be continued, or will this be a replacement to that, or
No,
will they
it's-
get double now,
It's
in a sense? Or double might not be the right word, but...
Yeah, double's not the right word.
Will it be an adjustment to the health education side?
no, I don't see an adjustment there. I see that this is an addition to what's already being done there.
Right.
It's not replacement. It's not supplemental. It's an addition to.
Gotcha. So then, in terms of the evaluation of the measurement, is there going to be any data collected on, say, how this year went without it versus how next year will go with it?
There are measures we can look at based on the data from this year. For example, one element we can look at is discipline issues. Do we see them declining, staying the same, increasing from the prior year? And referrals and social worker database that she maintains. How is this program, is it impacting her work in a positive way, or is it not helping at all, or is it making things worse? We suspect it's going to improve things, but we don't know that for sure until we go through the pilot. So she maintains a database of her interactions with students, and we'll be looking at that data year to year.
Great. So the motive of the original question was if there was going to be any duplication from the health curriculum to what this is, and whether that's been sorted out.
There's no duplication.
Okay.
Yeah. No duplication.
You mentioned it's replacing STEM?
It's replacing STEM. The STEM activities that we're addressing those 20 days are being infused into, we have another couple of other STEM-like courses that are being infused to and into regular ed. I know a guy wrote an op-ed piece about that.
Yeah, so I was kind of curious. Interesting. So going back to Steve's question about how you're measuring and assessing, and the decision points to roll it into the next year, can you help me understand what will trigger you to say, "Yup, it's working"?
I can't definitively. It's not like measuring a kid's ability to run the 100-meter dash.
Right.
It's really simple. They either improve in their time or they don't. This is going to be a little bit fuzzier in its analysis. If we see discipline go down, for example, that's pretty simple. But can we say it's because of the course? No, we can't. This could be due to other factors as well. It's as much as we would like it to be cut and dry, measurable, it's not going to be. And I don't want to give you the impression that it will be.
I'm just curious. I mean, I understand why we're doing it. I understand what we. Who was the spark for this? Was it did this come out of?
Came out of middle school.
Out of the middle school.
Yeah. So I mean,
I guess I would like to understand as we're walking. I mean, you're going to report throughout the course of the year on what you're looking at and what this is evolving to, and
it'll be addressed at every reviewed at every academic standards.
cool. All right, good. That's fine. All right, thanks.
Okay, I'm going to challenge you on that it's fuzzy. Nothing frustrates me more than that everything's fuzzy at school. There's a reason why you're doing it, which means you have a goal in mind as to what it's going to accomplish. That is a measurable output. You should be able to say, yes, there are less incidents. There are less folks that are asking for help from social work. There should be measurable things. I'm not saying that if those numbers don't change, that that's necessarily a definitive result. But there are definitive measures that you can be looking for, and you should know what they are right now. Because that's what you've got to report on. You can't make up the report based on whatever you see. It's kind of like the new school, ready index, where you just pick whatever you want to look at to make your school look good. Figure out what the targets are, that what you think it's going to do. There's got to be a goal. You think it's going to accomplish certain things. Those are the goals. This is what you hope to see. Diminishment in these types of things, or improvement in these types of things. Those are goals. Then you report on it. If you want to report on other stuff, great. But you should have in mind right now what the rubric is. You got to love your rubrics and make one.
I beg to differ. What if, as a result of this course, we see an increase in referrals to social workers? That can be seen in two ways. That can be seen as a failure, or it can be seen as a great success. Because now more kids are getting services that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So I beg to differ that it can be measured black and white.
I did not say that you knew what the results meant. I said that you know what you're measuring.
Well, I outlined what we're measuring. And
the fact that I said, the fact that it doesn't change, or maybe it goes the wrong way, does not mean that you failed. It's just not what you expected. So at that point, you're going to sit down and go, why did that happen? If you want to explain it because that's more referrals and that's the truth, that's fine. But I do think you should have a known set of metrics that you are looking at.
We laid that all out the last time. When we unveiled all this. Discipline, referrals, social worker data. I'm probably missing a few
Pays, PCBH,
Although that won't help us in the first year.
Correct. Well, yeah, next year's the first, will be a PAYS assessment year. So at least get that first year in a 2 year.
We won't have that by the end of the first
Correct.
year. But long term, if it continues, we'll have that data. Is that still kind of gray for you?
You know what I want. I don't want it to be gray. You should know right now exactly what numbers you're going to go after. And to me saying it's the PAYS survey, well, that thing's a royal mess as it is. So I want to know exactly what you're looking at. I don't need to know this. I think you should know exactly what you're looking at.
We do, and we outline that in the proposal. Yeah.
May I just add that it seems to me that we need to place confidence in the professional educators who are seeing the issues that they're seeing on a day-to-day basis. And I, for one, have enough confidence in them to know that the objectives, the curriculum that they have proposed are going to contribute to meeting the needs, the mental emotional needs of this age group. You're talking about coping skills. One of the coping skills is to reach out to a caring adult. That might be the social worker. So it might seem that we have a whole lot more referrals and, oh my gosh, and this course isn't doing what it's meant to do. But in fact, that is a result of reaching out to a caring adult. I think we're beating the horse, and I'd like to see us just carry on, take the vote, and trust that the administration and the particular teacher are going to do what needs to be done. They're the pros, we're not.
Roll call.
Mr. Posnell?
Yes.
Mr. Sears?
Yes.
Mr. Sanders?
Yes.
Mrs. Fryrick?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Mr. Scalette?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Toman?
Yes.
Mr. Watts?
Yes.
The administration recommends board approval of the confidential administrative disciplinary hearing agreement for student number 46706975536, following a hearing conducted by board-appointed hearing officer Scott Krauser. The agreement sets forth the details of the recommendation in response to the Act 26 violation. The student will complete an 11-day suspension from school and be required to adhere to the established safety plan for the remainder of the 2019 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments? Ms. Computer.
This will be considered a unanimous roll call vote unless I hear votes to the contrary. Hearing none, motion passes.
Item C, the administration recommends approval for a request to file for Act 80-day exceptions with the PA Department of Education for August 17, 2018, August 20, 2018, November 21, 2018, February 15, 2019, and March 8, 2019. While we are approving 5, we anticipate only needing 2 days. Districts may use Act 80 exceptions to reduce the number of instructional days below 180.
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments?
Are these to be full? Are these to be full day, half day,
We're getting them all approved, knowing we won't need them all.
as full days? What we're approving right now is 5 full days.
Right. So when we run into a situation, well, the seniors will graduate first or second. Now we don't run the risk of losing any subsidy because these days will count for that now. So it's just a fail-safe measure.
Understood. Thank you.
That's all it is.
Other comments, questions? Yes, this can be unanimous roll call vote.
This will be considered a unanimous roll call vote unless I hear votes to the contrary. Hearing none, motion passes.
And now we have a wellness report from Dr. Alex.
Okay, well, good evening. I had the pleasure of speaking to you at the December meeting as well. So we're just kind of providing another update of where we're at. We had a great committee meeting the other night. Mrs. Hasselfuss and I both co-chair the Wellness Committee. And we've had some similar members on the committee over the last few years. And it's evolved and has changed a little bit. So it's interesting to hear some of the conversation about the middle school course and the social emotional well-being of our students, because I'm going to skip down to the second bullet, because one of the things that our committee is now looking at is not so much when we started with the committee, it was more about the physical activity and what are we doing with the students and our community. And now we've kind of shifted even from the other night to more of a whole student wellness approach, which fits in really well with what we're doing. And Ms. King was there, our student family service coordinator, is part of the committee now. So one of the things we're looking at doing is addressing a lot of the social emotional needs and putting that more of an emphasis for the students and the community, trying to tie that together. Now she's done a lot this year with the middle school and met with the wellness department at the middle school. They pulled some data on the 7th grade class so that she can continue to track that. And I'm sure she'll be presenting that at some point in time too. But it's really neat what they have going right now. And hopefully the goal will be to expand that to the other grades. Possibly looking at a universal screener. I know Ms. King wants to start a Vito club, and we have some students here. I know there's a big banner hanging out here in our hallway about that. Looking at having some parent clinics and just resources that she can provide. So she's going to be a great asset for our wellness community. But what we decided to do is, if you know Wellness Night, what we've had, with the assistance of CTC over the past few years, we had a big wellness fair about 7 years ago in the fall, which transitioned to a wellness night in the spring. And we just had that sport clinics and then some tables set up, educational tables for wellness. Well, what we decided to do is, instead of doing just the sport clinics and some education more geared towards the elementary, is we want to do a whole child and community wellness day in the fall and really ramp it back up and kind of re-energize the wellness committee and really the community for wellness and what we're trying to do here. So we set a date, September 28th, so we're not going to have the sport clinic wellness night here in the spring, but we're going to have a bigger whole child wellness day in the fall. So that's more informational for you. Student wellness policy 246. We need to continue to have assessments of our policy and review, which we've done, and we revised it back in November. But we're continuing to look at that and put in the evaluation tools. And part of that analysis that we're supposed to do, the assessment that we're supposed to do with the wellness policy, is look and see what is going on in our community and how we, as a wellness committee, can work with Dr. Williams and Dr. Krauser and the board on continue to revise that policy to make sure that we are meeting the needs of all of our students. So that's something that the wellness committee is going to take on next year as well. Is really trying to do a little bit more in-depth analysis, assessment of what's actually in our policy, rather than what we've been doing with just reviewing it, updating it, bringing new members on. So we'll have some more new things hopefully next year as we come. That way we can incorporate, rather than just the elementary students in the springtime, hopefully we can tap into the larger student body, parents, and the community in the fall. Any questions?
Sure, I have one question. Is there any relationship between this work and what the CTC is doing? Or any discussion of a relationship between the two?
We have CTC members that sit on the wellness committee, so that's the collaboration that we get with them. Other than the two times a year that we meet, and then I know with Mr. Kern and presenting and collaboration with him, it doesn't go much beyond that. But that could be part of what we do next year with the assessment, is dig into their data a little bit more so that we can see how our policy is being effective.
Yeah, thanks. It's a question about the nature of the synergies that are possible.
Save me asking the real question next Friday night.
You don't have to worry about it. The last few, it's rained anyway.
It's rained
so,
anyway, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, and administrative reports. Dr. Manos, give us a report from Bed Lake.
Good evening, everybody. I'm excited to join you this evening. A few of our staff members and Dr. Stoltz and I have worked very hard this year to introduce and try to get off the ground Forest Kindergarten. So we give you a short introduction because we had a high school senior here at Suburban, Joseph Malloy, put together a video. He joined us for a day out at Nixon Park to actually run a day of Forest Kindergarten. So what the concept comes from a Scandinavian model that was tried in Switzerland in 2012 at a deeper level of research where they did a full year of Forest Kindergarten with a classroom of students. And then the research was visited in 2017, 5 years later after they were in kindergarten. They interviewed the students, they interviewed their parents, They interviewed their teachers just to hear things about creativity, leadership skills, problem solving, collaboration, all the things that you hear so often. That was the model coming out of Switzerland. So Mrs. Wise, who's with us tonight, Dr. Stoltz with us tonight, we're in talks, and we partnered with Mason's Park, and on March 25th did a day of forest kindergarten. So enjoy, and then I'll engage in any questions afterwards.
Pickup drop-off worked out very well this morning. What we did ask parents to bring students to the site. We do that for time. We estimated that if we bused from the school to this forest kindergarten experience, we would be looking at a 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock time. That's 4 hours. By having parents transport to the site, we are looking at a 9 o'clock to 2:30 experience. That's a significant more amount of time, and it gets us into the environment and allows a little more sustainable instruction to occur.
On the count of three, I want you to whisper to your teachers.
A day like today is so much more fun than a field trip because we have way more time to spend with the kids. We can go off on little tangent adventures based on what the kids find interesting. We have way more time to explore what the kids see as exciting and fun. The adventures are way bigger than a field trip when I only have an hour with kids on a regular basis. It's super awesome.
Already we're experiencing incredible benefit with our hike and the help of the Nixon Park ranger that is facilitating the hike. Just with it being the spring season, we are picking up seeds as students overturn rocks and use their magnifying glasses to explore. The conversations with these kids are also quite amazing. We're seeing small groups of 3 and 4 students on their own go down a road of a science conversation or an exploration that was unplanned. So it's that type of environment that's very exciting just so far today with our hiking.
As a speech language pathologist, I find this to be an exciting adventure for the kids. It's an opportunity to engage them in rich language and vocabulary within an environment that they typically may not have an opportunity to be in.
Hiking with my teacher. I hiked with my boyfriend. We went to pick up seeds. We threw the seeds.
to get a grant approved for 4 days of forest kindergarten next year, non-consecutive, so that we cover all 3 seasons. So we're looking for Valley U and Yorkshire, your first class, the incoming class of 2032, to have a forest kindergarten experience next school year. So we're extremely excited about that. I'm doing a lot of the talking, but Mrs. Wise, Mrs. Kaufman, and the specialists that joined us did a lot of the lion's share of the work. That's forest kindergarten, as it stands right now.
Thank you. I just want to say how terrific this is. I mean, it's actually thrilling to see, and I think it's just a wonderful concept, and I believe in the reality of what that kind of experience can do for children.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just curious if there were any issues with getting the kids there. Did you have cooperative issues with parents or?
Your class. We'll share with your class how it went. Carpool.
They carpooled and it was all good.
Yeah, I think we had 4 that we connected with a carpool consent form and got from it.
Yeah, that's awesome, just to have that kind of cooperation with families to give the kids that kind of cool experience. That's
When in talking with Mrs. Wise and Mrs. Kaufman, it makes a huge difference if you are on site. We were on site at 7:30, 8 o'clock for a 9 o'clock arrival. If we were here at the building, we're getting to school. We're doing all the packing up there, getting on the bus. You're really not getting into the day till I'd say 10:15ish, and then you have to talk about busing back. And then Mrs. Kaufman and Mrs. Wise did a nice job of incorporating a scavenger hunt activity for pickup. So when you picked your kiddo up, you didn't just hop in the car. You had an activity that you could do. It got rained out that day, but the concept was there. But I will say about the rain that as soon as the rain started coming, our kids did not melt and they did not wither. They actually went like this. So they are resilient, and that's part of the process is to show that getting muddy, getting dirty, getting outside of the 4 walls of a classroom is not only okay. We would almost contend it's necessary.
Yes, it was. We still followed our.
And I'll pass the lesson plans.
We still followed our typical normal day. As you saw on the video, we started with the pledge. We did our whole morning meeting, our songs, our greetings, and then we went on a hike. And we actually ended up hiking 2.5 miles that day. You would have never known the kids wanted to keep on going. We did break in between, and we did some science lessons, the changes of seasons. And then we braked a little bit, and we did a kid writing mini lesson, followed by kid writing in the woods, kid writing sharing time. We hiked a little further, and we did a whole word working lesson. As I don't know if you could see up on the video, but they had to go around and collect so many sticks. And then we bundled them, and we did tally marks with them, and then we made words with the sticks. And then after that part, we went down and we ate lunch, and that's when it started to downpour. They did not want to go in. We ended up going in then, and we did some whole group reading and a little bit more with the science. And then the parents came, and we were supposed to have a big finale with a bonfire outside and a big scavenger hunt outside. But we did a little big fire in the middle of Nixon Park inside, and story time, and then the parents stayed and did the scavenger hunt with the kids. So And also, just with the parental surveys going out recently, with the student surveys going out, their favorite thing by far was the Forest School. So, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Dr. Manos? And from the high school, Dr. Adams?
High school, we have one more presentation. We have a bunch of awesome people over here. Our link crew leaders, Mrs. Holman, Mrs. Hendrick, Mr. Wagner, and Mr. Martino. And they brought some students tonight. We talked a lot about link crew. So rather than anything that I could possibly do to say how great it is, I figured you get to experience a little bit of it.
Studies have shown that more students fail 9th grade than any other grade. And promotion rates between 9th and 10th grade are significantly lower than promotion rates between any other grade. Most high school dropouts failed at least 25% of 9th grade courses, while only 8% of all high school completers experienced similar difficulties. Low attendance during the first 30 school days of your 9th grade year is a stronger indicator than any other middle school indicator out there, including test scores, other academic achievements, and also age. Many high schools conducted studies implemented by link crew years before versus afterwards, and found significant decreases in truancy, referrals, suspensions, and fights. And for many, many more statistics, we direct your attention to our link that's posted to the Board of Ed notes.
So thinking about those statistics, take a moment, and especially you guys, I'm curious to have you guys reflect back on what your very first day of high school looked like. And for many of us, we were handed a schedule, and then they waved at us and said, "Good luck, go to first period now." And our goal here at Suburban in 2008 was to roll out a program so that the first day of school for our high school students was not that. We wanted to do better than that. So for the past 10 years, we've had Link Crew established as primarily an orientation program where Link Crew leaders were encouraged to check up throughout the year, but it really did focus just on that first day. For the past year, starting in 2018, we decided to implement the full Link Crew curriculum, which again, like I said, is a national program. So for the past year, we rolled out the full curriculum, and that helps us meet our building goals of focusing on the transition between 8th and 9th grade to make it a good and effective transition for our students. We hope to continue building this program and to roll it out in its full effectiveness for the future.
So what we have to do is we have to grow a little bit. We started with just Erica as the only Link Crew coordinator. We added at the beginning of this year Christina and myself to make us 3 strong. And this year in February we added Scott to make us 4 strong. And because we were able to do that, one of the things that we could do is we could build on the Link Crew model and strive towards their idea of having one academic and one social event each month for freshmen. We haven't quite gotten there yet, but we have tried to have either one academic or one social event a month. And so we've added things to our program. So we've had Valentine's making parties. We've had sprinkles and studying to teach freshmen what do you study for a midterm. We've had lemonade and learning that we're going to add in the end of this month to get them ready for finals. We had a great ice cream social. We had a spirit day where everybody wore their yellow Link Crew shirt to remember where you started Wednesday, and we gave out ice cream here in the cafeteria for those kids that actually wore their shirts. We've taken Link Crew leaders to a conference at Hatboro Hersham to help them become better leaders themselves. And so we are growing both as an organization for Link Crew, but also to help support our freshmen.
And here's the thing, we're here today because we want you to feel the power of our program, and trust me when I say it's totally powerful. But we're also here because we humbly request that you consider to add us as a school district allowance, so that we know that our future is set and that we can continue building this program. We need to continue building this program. It's been way too amazing this year to stop where we are. We need to keep growing. The power of this program is very real. We're not a student after-school program. We're not a club. We are a group of people who come together to make the most vulnerable population of our student body better and stronger. We together give them the skills they need to be strong high school students, to be lifelong learners, so that when they leave here, they are ready. This program is important, and I hope that you feel the power of this program. Together, with your renewed support, I hope that we can get there.
My name is Samantha Coppage. I'm a Link Crew leader because I want to be able to give the freshmen the support that they deserve, the support that unfortunately I didn't receive when I was a freshman.
I'm Christina Fiorentino, and I am a Link Crew coordinator because I believe in the power of this program and the impact it has on our district.
My name is Scott Wagner. I became a Link Crew coordinator because I believe that this program promotes kindness throughout this entire school district.
Hi, my name is Hannah Hopkin, and I became a Link Crew leader because my Link Crew leaders left an impact on me, and I want to do the same.
My name is Erica Hallman, and I believe passionately in training the leaders in this school district to lead the world.
My name is Bevan Falco, and I became a Link Crew leader because I know personally how hard it can be to move to a new school.
My name is Amy Kedrick, and I became a Link Crew leader because I believe that freshmen deserve the best chance at success that we can offer them.
Hello, my name is Mike Geigo, and I became a Link Crew leader because I wanted to show freshmen how much fun high school can be.
We are so excited! So excited! For the next year, we are even more excited! The class of 2023! So thank you for your support. We are Link Crew! There you go.
Well, we had 30 superintendents and executive directors from around Pennsylvania come visit our school system on Friday. And now you can see why this was one of the things that we showed them, the Link Crew, and also the Forest Kindergarten was another thing that visitors experienced as well. A lot of good things going on, and we wanted to showcase them, and the two things you saw tonight were two of the things that the superintendents were exposed to on Friday. So, Dr. Adams, that'd be a pretty hard act to follow. Is there anything else you...
Yeah, you're not going to see me up there saying that.
No, yeah, no, I
That's
get
all for the high school.
Did I hear that they need funding? Have we figured out what to do with that? Is that part of your budget here at the high school, or they also?
I can speak to that. They have long operated as a student activity, which means that they were raising their own funds and they were putting together $1,000 and $2,000. That simply isn't accurate. So the last number of years, we have shifted to fund more of that in 2000 school. budget. How will that prioritize pieces? You'll see when the extracurricular recommendations come on, 4 of them are split into 2 stipends. So they're basically volunteers doing this job, which is great. I really appreciate the work that they're doing on behalf of the kids. But we are slowly funding more and more from the high school budget, but that, of course, is being a trade-off with other activities that you see the benefit of performance needs of that.
And that concludes,
Ms. Benson?
Thank you. The administration recommends board adoption of the resolution to approve the 2019-20 general fund operating budget in the amount of $65,779,109 and to set the real estate tax rate at 23.4133 mils. This represents a 1% increase, which is below the state index of 2.7% for the 2019-20 fiscal year.
Second.
Do we have any questions or discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Tillman?
Yes.
Mr. Scalette?
Yes.
Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Mrs. Fryrick?
No.
Mr. Sears?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Posnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
At each of your places, I did place the 2019-20 final PE budget, and there is also the the final budget comparison report that goes with that. Under confidential posting for you is the line by line, which shows the changes that were done as well. Any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll answer any questions if there are any at this time. Okay, the next item then, the administration recommends the board approve the bid from Burco for a total of $10,244.23 for classroom furniture for the new autistic classroom at Indian Rock Elementary for the 2019-20 school year. This is a U.S. Communities 2019 contract. The company needs a 10 to 12 week lead time for the mobile storage with drawers. This is part of the 1920 budget, but we are starting the purchase requisitions now, and they will only bill us when we get it, so it will count towards next year's purchase.
So moved.
Second.
Yes, we are voting on this tonight.
Yes, we are.
I have to vote on it tonight.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? This will be a short call.
This will be considered unanimous roll call vote unless I hear votes to the contrary. Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, the rest of the items are items to be considered for approval on May 20th. The first item, normally we would have approved tonight with the budget, which deals with the homestead, the state gaming funds, and the eligible properties. However, the county tape was not ready yet to be able to do this calculation, so this resolution will be available for the May 20th meeting. The next 2, 3, 4, and 5, they are annual approvals that we do every year. Any questions on any of them?
The use of facilities fee schedule, will that be updated in Hyperlink so we can look at it?
Yes, that's gone through finance and has been posted, and we will post that for that meeting as well. We're only changing one item on there. Number 6 is the IU joint purchase bids for general supplies, paper supplies, and custodial supplies. That bid is actually being awarded May 10th, so we'll have all the detail for that agenda then. It'll be broken out as in the past. 7 and 8 are bids that are currently out. They will be opened this Wednesday, May 8th at 2 o'clock. Item 9 is the recommendation for the board to approve adding the student activity account, Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. It's a national nonprofit student organization that helps youth develop leadership and workplace skills to prepare for both college and careers through peer-to-peer education, community engagement, and the application of skills learned in the family and consumer sciences classroom. Next item was also run through finance. It's the whole resolution that we've approved in the past. The only change on this one is where we have the board approve authorized purchasers to make purchases up to $2,500. That's really the only thing that's changing on here. Currently, it's at $2,000. So we're upping it just because most of our student activities are around $2,200, $2,300. So we just thought it would make it a little bit easier for have us do those approvals instead of bringing them to the board all the time. 11 is the board approval of the contract with Valencia Ballroom for the prom for 2020. Total amount of the contract is $20,428 for room rental, food, and beverage.
Does that compare with this year?
I do not have that figure written down. I'll get back to you on that. I think it's a difference of about $2,000, but I will get the definite number on that.
Is covered by students buying tickets to the prom?
This is all through the Student Activity Fund. So it's a fundraiser type thing, so it would be tickets and any other fundraiser they would do for the prom throughout the year. 12 is the approve the bid for 8 Lenovo ThinkCentre computers from GDC in the amount of $7,231.76. This purchase is from the food service fund. This is to replace our computers that are essentially our cashiers. We're updating those up. The actual term is point of service system. And the last item, the administration recommends board approval of the contracts with Retro Environmental Inc. for asbestos abatement at the high school faculty room and classroom 130 for a total cost of $7,650. This is removal and disposal of approximately 1,200 square feet of asbestos floor tile and associated mastic beneath the carpet. This was brought up, I believe, 2 times in the past. We knew this was coming, we just didn't know when and for how much.
Do we know, is there more asbestos abatement to be done? Are we nearing the end? Do we know?
It could go on the entire time we do renovations. It just depends what we do and when and where we do it.
Understood. Thank you.
Any other questions? And the last 2 informational items are our donations that were both at Indian Rock. One is in the amount of $290.32 for the 3rd grade field trip to the Susan Burns Center. And the other one was $462.14 for whiteboards for the students. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Sky.
Hi everyone. First of all, I'd like to update you all on our high school spring sports team's current standings. For lacrosse, the boys are 9-7 and the girls are 4-11. Baseball is 3-11. Softball is 1-15. Boys track and field is 6-1, while the girls are 4-3. Boys volleyball is 10-2 and will begin counties a week from today. Last but not least, boys tennis is also 10-2 and competed in the first round of districts this afternoon after last week's 2nd place finish for doubles partners Liam Waterbury and Parker Lando. I'd also like to acknowledge the high school theater's immense success with their spring play a couple weekends ago. I'd like to mention that this past Friday, May 3rd, $17,315 was raised for the York Suburban Education Foundation through Give Local York. Through Impact Foundation specifically, this dollar figure will continue to provide materials to less fortunate students all across our school district. Yesterday morning, students from the Impact Foundation collaborated with a nonprofit known as Sprout of Hope to begin the construction of a garden at Valley View Elementary, which will be harvested this fall so fresh produce can be sent home to kids through their Food for Thought bags. Furthermore, this past weekend was fun-filled for the 8th graders as they attended their annual school dance, and many of them traveled to Washington, D.C., on Saturday and Sunday together. In the coming weeks, our sports team will compete in postseason, final exams will be taken, and the class of 2019 will graduate. I encourage everyone to keep an eye out for upcoming end-of-the-year festivities ranging from the academic awards reception to Orange and Black Day to kindergarten graduation. That's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you. You have the committee meeting schedule is posted here. Personnel Committee, Mr. Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Posnow. The minutes of February 13th are provided. Consent agenda. You have before you the personnel report, which includes resignation and employment. Would any board member like any of these items considered separately, or are there any questions on any of these items? If not, the chair moves approval of the below-mentioned items.
Second.
Questions or comments? This will be a short roll call vote.
This will be considered a unanimous roll call vote unless I hear votes to the contrary. Hearing none, motion passes.
Mr. Robinson, keep on going. Legislative update.
Well, if I may, before I conclude the personnel report, any of the members who are being hired who are in the audience, would you please rise and be recognized? Welcome. It's good to have you with us. Passing the baton, so to speak. Okay. Legislative update. Well, as many of you know, on the 29th of April, Dr. Williams, Mr. Sears, and I traveled to Harrisburg and entered the Lion's Den and met with several representatives, Senator Kristen Phillips Hill, Senator Mike Fulmer, Representative Sam Saylor, who did show up in person, Representative Keith Gillespie. Sadly, Representative Carol Hill Evans was meeting at another location and we were unable to talk with her directly. During those sessions with our representatives, we discussed cyber charter reform, PlanCon, and fair funding. It's anybody's guess how these issues will be resolved, but none of you are surprised, are you? To its merit, though, this gave us an opportunity to show the flag with our elected representatives and to have them identify names and faces of us as representatives of the district. We plan this to be the first of many meetings with our elected representatives because we know where their local offices are. In addition, Mr. Sears and I also met individually with Representative Carol Hill Evans to express our admiration for the hearing she held on mental health prior to Advocacy Day. Any questions? Did I miss anything, gentlemen? Apparently not. That concludes my report.
Thank you. LIU, Ms. Murray.
I have no report from the LIU or from York Adams Academy.
Thank you. Ms. Mason, York County's tax bureau. Nothing. York County School of Technology.
Yes, I have just a couple of things. I wanted to update you on the enrollment for the 1920 school year. Right now they're projecting their enrollment as being full, basically 1,721 students. The incoming freshman class, they've accepted 444 students out of 775 applications that they received. So that gives you some sense of the growing popularity of the School of Technology, which is good news, I'm thinking. I wanted to share also about a new program that they are putting in for the upcoming year. That's there will be a driver's license testing center, and will offer online driver education. So even if to their students, but also to other students, anybody who needs to take their behind the wheel training and test, they have become a site for that. In the process of opening up a non-commercial driving test center and a driver education center. So one more thing that they're adding to their toolbox, so to speak. And the last thing I wanted to mention was that the bids for the new gymnasium were, that date was extended until May 15th. And it was granted, that extension was granted in hopes of receiving as many competitive bids as possible. The architect has indicated that the extension will not affect the construction timeline because we're still waiting on land development approval. James, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, or if you guys had a meeting or not? No? Okay, because of the extension, so. Anyway, that concludes my report. I would suggest that you, when you have time, read the link, the report there summarizes what's going on at the vocational school. Thank you.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody for sitting through with us tonight. You're always welcome here. The board meeting schedule is posted, and this is your last opportunity for public comment. Yes? You know the rules, name and address.
Roll your eyes on it, this really quick. Stephanie Sullivan, 331 Pine Hill Lane. On behalf of the Parksburg Embellishment Scholars and Treasurer, I'd like to remind everyone that tomorrow evening in here, roughly around 8:30 or whenever the awards night will be over, please come join us to celebrate. It's not a big agenda. We're going to get a little note of proclamation from the state of Pennsylvania acknowledging our 20th anniversary. It will be presented by Carolyn Levens, so we're very excited about that. But that's it for program. It's just come, have some cake, have some punch, celebrate with us, and acknowledge that we've been giving to scholarships for 20 years in the district, and this year, our total will be $475,000 in scholarships. So please help us celebrate.
Thank you.
That's everyone.
And I think with that, we are adjourned. There will be a short executive session. We're going to do that here. We're going to go back over that area. We're going to go back over to the other building and a short executive session.